we see Ivan's life fall apart in a really devastating way. It's really an emotional breakdown that he has as he's driving. And yet there are these moments where we're able, as the audience, to laugh at the situation, at the absurdity of the situation. So how did you want to convey in the writing and acting, directing of it, a degree of humor?
It's a very good point. I mean, it's you know, it's 90 minutes of a man's life unraveling, but you know, we're all human, and even in the midst of all of this, there is some comedy. You know, films tend to put things into genre, but everybody's life is every genre, you know, within 10 minutes. So I think it was important that the tension is sometimes relieved by, as it is in life, by something absurd happening.
It's somebody who's going through crisis and everything is truly going wrong about them, and it's unavoidable, and it's inevitable that there's doom at the end of the road, and that nothing is positive whatsoever about the situation. That when hope springs eternal from that character, there's always an opportunity to laugh hysterically at that person's, you know, people get pleasure from other people's misfortune, but in one sense, but in another sense is to play like a child when acting, to have the rigor of hope that you can turn it around.
Yeah.
You know, trying to stop a tidal wave and watching somebody fail to do that, but still maintain a hope, yes, is an opportunity for comedy, definitely.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about Ivan's father, the importance that his father has. We don't see him, we obviously don't see him, we don't hear his voice even, and yet throughout the film his presence is there and it lingers.
The structure of the car and the setup of the journey is basically Ivan's future is through the windscreen and the GPS. That's what's going to happen. What's happened in the past is in the rearview mirror, and that's his father. And it's sort of, you could argue that the whole reason for the journey is Ivan proving to himself and to his dead father that he's not like him. In other words, that it's not predestined who you are and how you behave, because this is a mistake that his dad would have made many times. And he's trying to prove that he is going to put it right, he's going to fix it. And so you could argue that it's sort of a selfish motivation, because he's doing all of this to prove something to himself.
And acting with, you know, just the back seat, but constantly looking, and it almost feels like he's there, and we know that he's not, but was that a challenge for you?
No, I think those particular segments in the picture, those was very. I know that those have been received with different opinions by most people who've watched it. And to me, they were the most, from a theatrical point of view, and I think that's what was quite difficult to blend into the rest of the film. It's whether they were internal monologues within his head or whether he was genuinely speaking them. But they weren't. They weren't difficult for me to get as an actor to be part of, because I understood that both in as a theatrical term you can have a monologue, and this is the interior landscape, and then also in real life people speak and sing in their car when they're alone and they don't know they're being watched, and I think it was an essential plane as well to speak aloud the relationship with the father. Whether it was internal or externalized, you know, it's up to the audience member how they wish to view that in the film. But no, it wasn't difficult at all. It made sense to me.